We begin now at the top of Daf Yud Daled Amud Aleph in Maseches Brachos. This is Berachos Daf 14a. The Gemara left off on Daf Yud Gimel Amud Beis discussing the opinion of Rabbi Yehuda, that Rabbi Yehuda says that when you are be'emtza, when you are in the middle of sections of the Brachos of Kriya Shema, you can respond to somebody who comes over to you that you honor, and for somebody that you fear, you can even initiate Shalom Aleichem. You can be shoel to such a person that you fear. And now the Gemara continues at the top of Yud Daled Amud Aleph. What can you do between sections? Says Rabbi Yehuda as follows: Uvaprokim shoel mipnei hakavod umeishav shalom l'chol adam. When you're between sections, you can ask because of kavod, meaning you can initiate Shalom Aleichem to somebody who you honor, and you can respond to somebody. To anybody who comes over to you to say Shalom Aleichem, you can respond to anybody, because once again, Rabbi Yehuda is more lenient when it comes to responding than when it comes to initiating, when it comes to asking Shalom Aleichem. The Gemara now brings a brisa to corroborate. Tanya nami hachi, we have a brisa like this as well. Hakore es Shema upagabo rabo ogadol himenu. If a person is reading Shema and his Rebbe or somebody greater than him comes over to him, baprakim, if he's in the middle of, if he's in between sections, shoel mipnei hakavod, he can ask, he can initiate the Shalom Aleichem due to kavod. Ve'ein sarach lomar shehu meishav, and for sure, certainly he can respond in such a situation. Uve'emtza, if he's in the middle of a section, shoel mipnei hayira, then he can only initiate, he can only initiate the Shalom Aleichem due to fear. Ve'ein sarach lomar shehu meishav, and certainly he can respond due to fear. Divrei Rabbi Meir, these are the words of Rabbi Meir. Rabbi Yehuda Omer, Rabbi Yehuda says, Ba'emtza shoel mipnei hayira umeishiv mipnei hakavod. If he's in the middle of a section, then he can initiate due to fear, and he can respond due to honoring the person. Uveprakim, and if he's between sections, shoel mipnei hakavod, he can initiate, he can ask due to honor, umeishiv shalom l'chol adam, and he can respond to all people. This brisa corroborates the view that Rabbi Yehuda makes a distinction between sections and in the middle of sections, whereas Rabbi Meir does not make a distinction, and the Gemara is going with the answer that you should put in the words Ein Sarach Lomar within the text of Rabbi Meir, as the Gemara discussed before on Daf Yud Gimel Amud Beis. Gemara now continues with a different topic. Achi from the yeshiva of Rabbi Chia, he asked Rabbi Chia the following question: B'Halel uva Megillah mahu sheyafsik. If you are in the middle of saying Hallel, or if you're in the middle of the Megillah, are you allowed to interrupt? So Amrinan kal v'chomer Kriya Shema do Raisa posek Hallel d'Rabbanan miboy. On the one hand, we could say that Kriya Shema is do Raisa, Hallel is only d'Rabbanan, so certainly you can interrupt. O Dilma, perhaps no, maybe Persume Nisa Adif. Maybe these cases are cases of Persume Nisa. We are publicizing the miracle, and in such a situation we're more strict. So he said, Amar Le, he said to him, Rabbi Chia answered, Posek ve'ein bekach klum. We are more lenient, you can stop, and then you can make an interruption, and it's not a problem. Amar Rabba says, Yomim shehayachid gomer bohen es halal bein perek leperek posek, ba'emtza haperek eino posek. If we're talking about a day when you say the entire halal, so then between sections you can interrupt, in the middle of a section you cannot interrupt. Yomim she'ein hayachid gomer bohen es halal. But if you're talking about days where we do not say a full halal, afilu be'emtza haperek posek, then even when you're in the middle of a perek, you are allowed to interrupt. Ini, is that so? V'harav bar Sheva ikla legabi de Ravina. However, Rav bar Sheva, he went to Ravina v'yamim she'en hayachid gomer es halal, and it was a day where one did not say the full halal. Have it was such a day. V'lo pasukle, and he didn't interrupt. He was strict. So the Gemara answers, Shani Rav bar Sheva de lo chashiv ale de Ravina. No, it was a little different over there, because Rav bar Sheva was not someone that Ravina felt that he needed to make an interruption for. Remember that the interruptions are only if it's a situation which requires it, which seems to require that the person interrupt. But in such a situation, he felt that he did not need to interrupt. We are now at the two dots. Bo'amine Ashion Tana Dve Rabbi Ami me Rabbi Ami. Ashion of the yeshiva of Rabbi Ami asked from Rabbi Ami the following question: Hashoroi betainis ma'u sheyitom. So if a person is fasting, is he allowed to take a taste of the food? Achila ushasiya kavila lev haleka. Could be that he only accepted upon himself not to eat and drink, and tasting is not considered eating or drinking. O Dilma, perhaps hana kavila le, he really accepted upon himself to stay away from the pleasure. V'ha'ika, and this is considered a pleasurable thing to taste. Amar Le, he said back to him, Toem ve'ein bekach klum. One can take a taste it is not a problem at all. Tanya Nami Hachu, we have a brisa like this as well. Matemes eina te'una bracha. First of all, if one takes a taste, that does not require a bracha. V'hashorei b'tainis, and somebody who is in a fast, toem ve'in b'kach klum. He could take a taste, and it's not a problem at all. Ad kama, how much can he taste? Reb Ami v'Ravasi Twami ad shiur reviyasa. Reb Ami and Ravasi would taste up to a revius. Two dots. Amar Rav. Rav says, Kol hanosen shalom l'chaveiro kodem sheyispalel. If somebody says hello to his friend before he davens, davening generally connotes Shmona Esrei, so he's saying hello before Shmona Esrei. Ki ilu aso bama. It's as if he built a bama. Shenemar, like it says, Chidlu lachem min ha'adam asher neshama bi'apo ki bameh nechshavhu. So the pasuk, the simple pshat of the pasuk means, why are we paying so much attention to man? What is man relative to God? Bameh nechshavhu. What is he considered? Al tikri bameh ela bama. But the Gemara says, don't read it vameh, read it bama. So the drasha is that it is as though if a person pays such attention to man before he davens, it is as though he built a bama. Shmuel Amar, and Shmuel says a slightly different drasha. How did you consider this person so important and not God? So now the Gemara asks from our Mishnah. Meisiv Rav Sheshas. Rav Sheshas asks, it says that when you're between sections of Shema, you are allowed to initiate and respond in conversation, depending on the exact halacha, but clearly the person is saying hello before Shmona Esrei because the brachos of Kriya Shema are before Shmona Esrei. So Tirgam Rabbi Abba b'mashkim lepischo. Rabbi Abba answers, when we say you're not supposed to say hello to somebody, it doesn't mean somebody walks over to you in the middle of saying the brachos of Kriya Shema. It means you go over to somebody's house before you've davened Shmona Esrei to say hello. That is what is considered like building a bama. Amar Rav Idi bar Avin, Amar Rav Yitzchak bar Ashiyan. So Rav Idi bar Avin says in the name of Rav Yitzchak bar Ashiyan, Asur lo la'adam lasos chafatzav kodem sheyispalel. It is forbidden for a person to take care of his own personal matters before he davens. Shenemar, as it says, Tzedek lefanav yahalech v'yasem l'derech pe'amav. Righteousness walks before him, and it makes a road for his footsteps. V'amar. So the drush over here is that it's saying that a person before he goes on his own journey, on his own derech, tzedek lefanav yahalech, he has to make sure that he takes care of the needs, so to speak, of what he needs to do for the Ribbono Shel Olam. He needs to take care of davening beforehand. V'yamar Rav Idi bar Avin, Amar Rav Yitzchak bar Ashiyan, and Rav Idi bar Avin says in the name of Rav Yitzchak bar Ashiyan, Kol hamispalav ve'achar kach yotzi l'derech. Similar idea. If somebody davens and only after he davens he goes out on the road, HaKadosh Baruch Hu osa lo chafatzav. Then HaKadosh Baruch Hu will take care of his personal needs on his behalf. Shenemar, like it says, Tzedek lefanav yahalech v'yasem l'derech pe'amav. Same thing. When he goes out on the road, when he takes his footsteps out on the road, if he places the requirements he has before the Ribbono Shel Olam first, then those needs will be taken care of. Two dots. Amar Rabbi Yonah, Amar Rabbi Zera. Rabbi Yonah says in the name of Rabbi Zera, Kol halon shivas yamim below chalom. Anybody who sleeps 7 days without any dream, nikra ra, he is called bad. Shenemar, like it says, v'saveya yolin bal yipaked ra. Now this pasuk is talking about somebody who's full, he's satiated with yira shamayim, he is bal yipaked ra, evil won't come across him. Al tikre saveya elasheva. The Gemara makes a drasha here. Don't read the word saveya, say instead 7, and it's a reference to 7 days. A person sleeps and he hasn't bal yipaked, he hasn't had a dream, that's considered bad. Amar le Rav Acha breder Rav Yechia bar Abba. So Rav Acha, the son of Rav Yechia bar Abba, said to him, Hachi Amar Rav Yechia Amar Rav Yochanan. Here is how Rav Yechia, in the name of Rav Yochanan, explained this pasuk. Kol hamasbia atzmo midivrei Torah. Anyone who makes himself full with divrei Torah, satisfies himself with divrei Torah, vilon, and then goes to sleep, ein mivasr no so besuros ros. He won't get bad news. Shenemar, like it says, v'saveya yolin. So we're darshaning, if he's full with Torah and he goes to sleep, bal yipaked ra, bad will not be informed upon him. Now the Gemara moves to the part of the Mishnah which said, Elu hein bein haprakim v'chulu. This is considered between sections. The Mishnah identified what is considered between sections of the Brachos of Kriya Shema, and the Mishnah then went on to discuss what about between Hashem Elokeichem and Emes. Is that or Emes v'Yatziv really? Is that considered a between sections or not? So the Gemara now says, Amar Rabbi Avo, Amar Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi Avo says in the name of Rabbi Yochanan, halacha ka Rabbi Yehuda. The halacha is like Rabbi Yehuda's opinion in the Mishnah, the Amar bein Elokeichem le'emes v'yatziv lo yafsik, who says that between the word Elokeichem and emes, between Elokeichem and emes v'yatziv, a person should not make an interruption. Those words should be read together. Amar Rabbi Avo, Amar Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi Avo says in the name of Rabbi Yochanan, my time with Rabbi Yehuda. What is the reason of Rabbi Yehuda? Dichsiv, because it says, and we will see when we continue in the next video on Daf Yud Daled Amud Beis what the source is for this halacha of Rabbi Yehuda.